Well, we are very excited about our two guests joining us on Big Blend Radio's Quality of Life show today to talk about a new virtual youth education and mentorship program. We're thrilled to have Bobbi DePorter, the co-founder of SuperCamp and president of Quantum Learning Network, back on the show. And she's also bringing Charles Smith, who's a programs manager and trainer for SuperCamp and Quantum Learning Network, joining us, and he's going to give us some insight also on this new Quantum Learning Mentor program that they have put together. It's a daily program. It is absolutely fantastic for students, not only to learn about studying, they are in a team setting, and also get to have mentorship. So really, it's got all those important keys to study and learn. I encourage you to go to SuperCamp's website, as always, supercamp.com, but also the new program website is QLmentors.com, so the QL standing for quantum learning, so QLmentors.com. And SuperCamp's been going since 1982. I got it wrong earlier. It's 1982, 1984. And very excited to have Bobbi back on. So welcome back, Queen of Excellence. How are you?
I'm doing great. And in these challenging times, it's like just one moment at a time. So keeping a positive attitude as we go through this.
Yes, we do, and I think the 8 Keys of Excellence, and this is why everyone, for first-time listeners, we call Bobbi the Queen of Excellence, because she also created the 8 Keys of Excellence, a really character education program. It's a free program online, so you could go to 8keys.org, and it's great for families and schools. But these keys of excellence really are life principles, and I really do develop character, and that's really the foundation of SuperCamp, right?
It is the foundation of SuperCamp, and every time I'm on the show and we talk about them, it's always feels like, it's now more important for the 8 Keys of Excellence, but I really mean it now. It's like going with the challenges that we have right now and how all the 8 keys, holding those as principles and reflecting on them as we're going through this time.
Yeah, exactly. Flexibility being one, right? Big one.
Yes.
Yes. And maintaining integrity. That's the first one. I want to bring Charles Smith on the show because he's got my last name. He stole it. No, I'm kidding. But Charles is the program manager and also for Quantum Learning Network and trainer also for SuperCamp. But welcome, Charles. How are you doing?
I'm well. It's an amazing day, and I'm happy to be here with you all.
Yeah. Now, I've heard that you've been all over the world with SuperCamp, facilitating SuperCamp programs like Thailand and Bali, Malaysia, Bermuda, Netherlands, South Korea, Singapore, Canada. Did I miss anything?
I'm not sure.
America.
America, Italy, Hong Kong, Bali. Yeah, I mean all over.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow, that's incredible. So the 8 keys, is that something that is part of what you do as a trainer in SuperCamp, is kind of bring that in immediately?
Absolutely. And so I run a lot of the SuperCamp programs and then train the facilitators for that program and then run them myself when I'm in those different countries. So it's the SuperCamp program that I help create and continue to push forward.
Awesome. I've been watching your Facebook. You've been doing these daily live segments also, really focusing on the 8 keys. And everyone, there's an 8 Keys of Excellence page on Facebook. Obviously, SuperCamp, Quantum Learning is on there as well. But that's something important, and flexibility is one of the most recent ones.
Absolutely. Flexibility is going to be going live today at noon. So right after this, I'm going to pop on over to our social media Facebook page for SuperCamp and go live.
Awesome. And so this, Quantum Learning, I want to go back to Bobbi on this because you've got SuperCamp and Quantum Learning Network. Can you give us the difference between the two? I know they're very connected, but what SuperCamp is versus Quantum Learning Network?
Well, Quantum Learning Network is the name of our organization, and under that we have SuperCamp and Quantum Learning Education. So there is a lot of crossover. SuperCamp is our youth program, and you said 1982. It's 38 years going into our 39th year, and if I've been on this show 12, I've been with you for at least a third of it, so that's amazing. But that's
I feel
our
excellent.
SuperCamp. I know, that's excellent. So SuperCamp is our youth program, middle school, high school, college age programs that we hold on university campuses and in other countries. And then with our Quantum Learning Education, often we work with schools and organizations doing trainings for teachers, professional development. We also do student programs through quantum learning, and quantum learning is also the name of our teaching and learning methods. So it's all kind of intertwined there with coming together with who we're, presenting the information to.
And then going online with this, Bobbi, this is really bringing SuperCamp into the home, but also creating that teamwork too with this new Quantum Learning Mentors program.
You know that for years, students get so much out of the program. It's a transformational program, so that there are a lot of e-courses, and we have some ourselves, but it's a lot of times it's a video talking at the people with content, which can be really great content. But that transformational element or shift, and one of the favorite parts of SuperCamp that we hear over the years is their experience being in a team, and the type of conversation and interactions that we facilitate happen in those teams that are just so special, where the students go really deep with themselves and their learning. So this program, why we're so excited about it, is it brings that energy into the e-world. So many students are frustrated. They're at home and they're having to watch a video and do work, and they're isolated. This one brings students together, so it's all about going deeper with those authentic connections and getting to know people, and it's daily, and it's something that they can look forward to in this time.
I love this. A lot of musicians are doing all these live shows, like what you're doing, Charles, with the A Keys going, live every day. And one of the things that, we were watching it was a big festival. It was a Luck reunion with Willie Nelson and his, sons Lucas and Micah. They were supposed to have this big Luck picnic reunion festival that they do every year, and they do it to raise money for different nonprofits. And so because of what happened with the quarantine, everybody got together and did this live stream of performing out of their homes. So I had all these musicians around the world doing this and across the country. And they didn't do it through Facebook Live so much. So when you do Facebook Live, you know this, Charles, where people can interact and send you, hi, and send you little smiley faces and things like that. Well, they were doing it through a thing where they couldn't have any feedback, and the musicians, remember we're watching it dance, they're like, hello, are you there? Is anybody there? Because there was no feedback, audience feedback, and I think, as musicians, there's this connection of energy between the two. So I think, Charles, this is going to be, it's kind of like that for the students joining into this program, that they get that feedback, like what the musicians were craving during that concert.
Absolutely, and something that we're pushing forward with this is we reached out to parents, teachers, and educators about what's happening for them, and so we designed this program for them, by them, where they could connect with other people and be a resource for each other versus trying to figure out where the resources are.
Now let's talk about the one part of it. You talk about this, there's e-learning frustration because it's like, oh, now someone's just going to be talking at you, and it's at you instead of with you or connecting, right? But one of the first steps in this program is to develop an individual learning profile, something I think is really important because a lot of times students go to school and are never taught how to actually study and how to connect with their study patterns and how you can actually soak in that information. So is that that's kind of one of the first things in SuperCamp, right, is to learn how to study?
Absolutely, and that's what they're getting right away. Once they register, they get this learning profile assessment. It lets us know their strengths, their areas of growth, and what does their typical day look like. And then it also teaches them what their learning preference is, how they like to take in information. We take that information and we customize a match with a mentor and a group of people just like them, so we could all be a support system for each other.
I like this. Bobbi, the other part is that they have a mentorship, right? The students get mentorship?
Well, that's part of it. When they join their team, there is a mentor with them. Many of them are SuperCamp facilitators, which is great because with all the years and all the wonderful, engaging teachers that we have that can really inspire students. So that's the type of mentor that would be on this program with them. So they will join the team and lead it. And so part of their leading the opening up the discussions with the team so they know each other, and also delivering learning in discussions and debriefs live so that they go deeper every day in different areas.
I like this. I know that you know just how important a mentor is. And you've had amazing mentors in your life. And Bobbi, being back out here in 29 Palms, there's geodesic domes everywhere. So you know who we think about.
Yes.
Buckminster
Fuller.
Yes.
Yeah, who I spent a lot of time with before he passed. So.
Yeah. So
very
every
special.
time we see one, we're like, it's Bobbi Land. We think of him. I wanted to touch base real quick. Charles, what age group, what grades is this program developed for?
So it's developed for middle school, high school, and then entering college. And they're going to be separated by their age and by their groups. So the middle school will be with middle school, high school with high school, and college with college.
So in the team part, are there ways that the youth can connect after this session?
Absolutely, and part of that, again, is us helping them create resources of each other as well as themselves. So they're going to be able to connect with each other on the platform that we have and then make those connections last after the program is over.
Oh, that is so cool.
Very cool.
That's the one thing, from what we've seen and chatted about over the years, Bobbi, that a lot of the youth become real close friends afterwards and make new friends because you put them in a setting in SuperCamp that they're, you're going to learn to connect with others and not always like tag onto your best friend during SuperCamp.
They do get very close, and that they find the similarities in each other and have safety and trust with each other. That we find that students open up more with students in their team than they do in the outside world. And what comes out of that is that they have courage to just be themselves, the authentic self. And it's so special to see someone just being themselves and sharing, and then the students really gravitating towards them. And it's like, wow, I'm just being myself, and people really like me. And then they carry that out in the world because they know who they are, they know what they stand for, they embrace the 8 keys of excellence, which when something happens, they don't have to say, how am I going to react, what am I going to do? They know who they are, what they stand for, and that then they have courage to be themselves and present themselves and express themselves, which to me, that is the transformational part that is so special that lasts the rest of their lifetime.
So is it something, Bobbi, that where right now in the current situation that we all find ourselves in, will the parents be able to kind of have a bird's eye view that they didn't necessarily have before?
Well, for the students themselves, they'll get close within their team. So that will be within them, so that we will connect with the parents, but outside of their teams.
Ooh, this is neat. Yeah, because to me, I'm like, as a parent, I want to watch.
That's what I was thinking. I
would
want to, yeah.
I was going to say, and absolutely, the parents have access to see everything because we're doing it via a platform called Slack and Zoom. So the parents will be able to kind of see what's happening there. So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Be cool. I think there's a connectivity with that. We were when we were in Louisiana, we just kind of revisit this video once in a while that we made with Elvin Shields. He grew up in a sharecropping situation, family, and he saved his family's sharecropper cabin out on the Oakland Plantation, which is part of Canyon River Creole National Historical Park in Natchitoches. And so we did a video with him talking about what was it like being a sharecropper, growing up in that situation. He went on to become an engineer, serve in the military. I mean, it's amazing his life and what he has done and how he gives back to the community to this day. And he was talking about school was that, there was schools like on weekends. It was just the same thing as church. The whole family would go into this one-room schoolhouse, and he said there was no misbehaving because the parents were there learning at the same time as the kids. And so there was this conversation when you went back home. There's this, I don't know, it's kind of neat when kids and parents go to school together. Bobbi, what do you think about that?
I think that's funny.
I mean,
there's a time to be together and a time to be apart because students really want that connection. And, it takes so much courage sometimes to speak up and be themselves And sometimes they don't do that as freely when their parent is watching them. But when they go through SuperCamp, what we find is that when they have that experience, they start building up confidence and courage. And we hear so much from parents that their child, that was the most special thing for their child, to come home and talk about how they're feeling and what they learned. And we've also had parents many times saying that their child came home to tell them that they loved them and appreciated them. So it's giving them space and time to build up that confidence and have those, peer relationships where they can test things out and then reconnect with their parents. And parents who are listening too, it's so important to give your students space to speak. Sometimes we ask them questions that are too invasive. One is just open-ended questions, and then be quiet for a while. Usually, we get uncomfortable with silence, so the parent will just start talking. But if a parent asks a question and just stays quiet, be okay with that, the student will most often say something. And then, of course, our favorite line is, once they start saying something, say, "Tell me more." Or a parent sharing how they're feeling or how they were in school, and being authentic themselves and, asking the child how they are, it starts to create that safe environment where they want to share. And that's our goal at SuperCamp, and our goal in these teams on the QL Mentor is to create, we know in our QL methods, number one is creating safety and trust within the group. And it's that positive culture and environment that we create that they'll share. And that's where I'm so excited about this, because it creates a space for transformation, for shifts in how I feel about myself and present myself. And this is, we've been around so long, we have parents that went decades ago, and they still talk about that and said it changed the trajectory of their life.
I think also when, families right now, parents and the kids are stuck at home together, right? And there's this new communication. It's not, hey, we're communicating on the way to soccer practice, or, hey, I can only talk at this time because I'm busy finishing up a report, or, from all sides, we live such busy lives that now there's a new thing of communication, and it's ongoing, and it's daily, and it's every hour unless we're sleeping, right, or doing something different. So I think what's great about this program, too, is not only do the youth be able to go and do something that's going to, better them and help them with their education, especially going towards college, because I know right now is a good time to even think about being prepared for college and start working towards things and having those discussions with your parents. But it gives kids that I'm doing this for an hour, and, where the parents can still, check in, but they're doing something, so they have something to report back. I think it's important that not everybody's on top of each other all the time. Does that make sense, Bobbi? You know what I mean? That they need that breakaway.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where part of the program is what the parents were saying is we just need time so we can focus on other things that we need to do and allow our children to be resources for themselves and know where to look for the content that they need, the support that they need. And so that's how we created it specifically around that, where they could just be by themselves. They can get the information, and later on have a conversation, maybe a dinner conversation. Hey, so what'd you learn today?
Yeah.
And then tell me more, and go from that approach.
And what about, Charles, with them, getting prepared for college? What are some of the conversations that you're having in this program to help them move into, hey, we're going to go off to college and do all these things? I mean, because even right now it's kind of a scary time for youth. I mean, it is scary. So I can imagine there's probably fear from all ages. So, again, this is another way of, kind of putting that aside, right? Doing something constructive.
Absolutely. And, again, the core of this whole program is being a resource for yourself. And college, that's what it is. You have to be a resource for yourself, depending on what university you go to. If it's a major university with large classes, you have to have that ability to rely on your skills and be able to reach out to others for support when you need to. And that's what this program is teaching. So even though it's working just right now for e-learning, the skills that they're gaining from this program are for a lifetime of independence, and that's what we're creating from this program.
Do you think that the world is going more towards e-learning, as you know, with what we have technology-wise, and even when they're in college, this is going to help them about actually, you know, setting that study time and be able to, you know, focus? Because sometimes you have all the best of intentions, and then something else comes on your computer, like a YouTube video.
Absolutely. I've received both my master's 100% online, and I'm finishing my doctorate 100% online. A lot of colleges are going online, and so for them to have this experience now of e-learning in the middle school and high school age, that's something I wish I would have had before going into college this way. So they're getting a head start on everything right now.
Yeah, they get to learn a little bit of self-discipline.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to stick with this, you know, and I know it's going to last this long, and I know that I need to go from A to B to C to get this done. So I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we're building out accountability. Yeah, we're building out accountability partners as well. So part of the program is creating accountability partners, so that way they can really get the things done that they want to get done. And that's something, again, as when I was growing up, I wish I would have had that as a resource. And now we have virtual accountability partners that they can connect with outside of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, because I was looking at the age going up to 20 years old. I think this is neat because I'm not, you know, as familiar in how, you know, education is working in regards to choosing what your interests are. But when you're in the teenage years and you're thinking, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to go into medicine, or maybe it's, you know, entrepreneurship. But maybe doing something like this, Charles, would you think it would help to discover, help you define more of your interests, and then maybe while you're at home during this quarantine, taking some of those online courses of interest once you've done this program to kind of learn how to learn, to go in and start delving in those other courses to see if it's something you like?
Absolutely. This is the program for that. We're teaching them how to learn and how to learn in this e-learning world, and how to access resources and be a resource for yourself. So it's 100% for that, yeah.
Wow, that's just cool, man. I want to do it. Hey, you know, Charles, Bobbi did try to put us through quantum learning, and I have to tell you, I learned. No, and we did a day of being in the program with the teachers, and the teachers were from all over the country and Mexico, and it was so cool because we realized it was really all about communication, how to take in information. So even with what we do in radio, it's the same thing at the end of the day, is how do we deliver and connect and make that connection so the information is transferred and absorbed and utilized. So it's a really cool program from what we've experienced. Bobbi, the 8 Keys of Excellence, I know we're on a mission, and Nancy and I are ambassadors of this, and finding stories of excellence as we travel the country, stories from the past, stories from the present. I know we're on this mission to get 50 million youth engaged in the 8 Keys of Excellence and living their lives by these 8 keys. How many do you think we're at now?
Somewhere between 20 and 30 million. I mean, it's been a lot of years. With the youth themselves and the families that they touch that have embraced them, as well as all the teachers and over the years and their students. So, you know, it's a pretty high number right now.
So everyone goes to 8keys.org. Can you tell everybody what happens from there?
Yes, they can sign up as a student, a family, a educator, or a business. And there's activities and discussions there, as well as going deeper into the keys. But one of my favorite parts is the discussion starters, because any family discussing these topics, I know is going to become closer and go deeper in their just reflection on who they are and what they stand for.
I think this is a good time to do it. What age would you say you would start someone off on the 8 keys?
Well, we have the 8 keys that actually go down into a primary. So kindergarten through second grade, we have programs for that age. And often that's more led by the teacher or our parent. But you can ask someone who's 5 years old what do you think about this? Or you're the discussion starter. Ask the family what they think about this. And so it goes down to a very young age.
this is going to be so cool for right now. I think it's a way for families to communicate, and have, table discussions. And, Charles, do you want to lead us through the 8 keys? This is like the Pledge of Allegiance of education.
Sure. So we have integrity. We have failure leads to success. We have speak with good purpose. We have this is it, commitment, ownership, flexibility, and balance.
Now, do you when you do your Facebook Live, when you're doing this daily, do you just kind of do a grab bag, or do you go like, this is what it feels like today?
So it's 100% customized for today. I bring in some things that I'm going through personally that I'm seeing on Facebook, I'm seeing on Instagram, and I'm seeing the social trends that are happening, and kind of answering the questions that are hitting us today.
Right. And so today you're doing flexibility. That's something we have to kind of. I think that could be like the key of the quarantine. Flexibility.
I know the definition is be willing to do things differently. Well, we're doing a lot of things differently right now, but it's also your attitude and about going into having to do things differently. But it's about be willing, be open, recognize what's not working and change so you can achieve your goal or achieve what needs to happen today.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of change happening from this. This is going to change it's already changed the planet, and it's going to change even more. And so I think it's a good family discussion, and so that because you can't hide things that everyone's going through. You can't keep it too quiet. I think there has to have that discussion at times. But there's commitment to me. I feel like that key is a very powerful one for now, because it's like you have to commit to not losing it and freaking out and commit to continue. I think commitment, and I think we always talk about this, commitment and flexibility go hand in hand, but commitment to just not give up, because you can't.
It says take positive action.
Yeah, there's a lot of freedom in the word flexibility. Yeah, because I think it's easy to get stuck in doing things the same way over and over and over, and then you start to feel confined. So when you start embracing there's different ways to do things and being flexible, there's really a lot of creativity in it and a lot of freedom. So I think it's fun.
Yeah, and integrity goes through it all, so it's a good thing. Well, I'm really excited about this program, and I want to do it, but apparently I'm too old.
Well, all righty then.
I know.
It's funny, a lot of teachers are saying the same thing. They're saying, I want this program. How can I do it for myself?
I know. So I'm just saying, knock, knock. But, so everyone, again, the website is qlmentors.com. So, Charles, what happens from here? You're taking, people have to register, right? And this is something you have it every month. That's it for the foreseeable future here.
Yes, so we start our first class or cohort on April 6th, and then every Monday is the start of another cohort. So if they miss the April 6th deadline, they can sign up for the 13th, and that continues on.
Okay, wow.
Very cool.
So it's a full month for the participant.
So we have a 2-week program, and we have a 1-month program. So they can sign up for either one, whatever they choose.
Oh, cool. And you can do this from around the world. That's the other beauty of this.
I like that.
Yeah, we've reached out to our international partners as well, and so this is open for all.
Wow, how cool! This is just it's going to transform everything, And I think it's awesome that there's the teamwork side of it, because, Bobbi, that's the one thing on homeschooling, right? That do you get a lot of homeschoolers that come to SuperCamp? Because I think about when homeschooling it's been going on since ancient times, right? But there is that part that everyone realized that, hey, the kids need to be with other kids, and they need to be able to go and play and have a good time, but also have those relationships and that team building. So is that something that happens at SuperCamp, that you get a lot of homeschoolers?
Yes, we do get quite a number of homeschoolers at SuperCamp. And now this program will fit in right directly and easily with homeschoolers as well as others, where they actually get to connect with other kids on a daily basis and get to be on a team where they get to know each other very well. I think that's a difference too, because I can look on my screen with a lot of people, but if I don't know them, there's not that authentic connection that will happen as it will in this program.
I think that
exciting.
This whole quarantine and how we're communicating online, that we're kind of getting real.
Well, learning to reach out.
Yeah.
You know, that it's actually, we have the ability, the capability. And I think for kids, especially to meet kids halfway around the world that are taking the same kind of courses and classes, that's really fun.
Yeah, I like that part of it too.
Yeah.
But I do feel like you know, people are doing things at home through Zoom and stuff like that, right? And being able to see each other, say, hey, you know, I know there's a lot of people working from home going, people are going to see my kitchen. They're going to see my bedroom, you know. So there's that kind of thing. But I think because of that, we're kind of getting down to being more authentic with each other. Wouldn't you say, Charles, with doing all this online stuff? It's, you know, you'd think we would hide behind it, but now I think we can't. It's real.
Yeah, I agree fully, and I think connections and communication, I think we're starting to use it purposefully and understand the value of communication and connecting with others where we didn't see it before.
Yeah, I think this is really cool. Well, you know, they always say that out of, you know, really, you know, disasters and negative things, which negative things do pass, and so do good things, but through these kinds of situations, there's always a positive side of things. Wouldn't you agree, Bobbi? There's always a silver lining.
Yes, absolutely. You know, it's holding that picture. I can just picture us a year from now talking too, and how the world, you know, there's always things that you can learn and grow from. So looking at positive outcomes from this challenge. Yeah,
there are a lot of positive outcomes. I think so. And, you know, we just want everyone to be, stay healthy and safe and keep physical distance. We don't want to say social distance because that's not what you guys are doing. You're doing social connections.
Yes, we are.
Not physically, you know. So I love this. Again, everyone, the website is qlmentors.com, also supercamp.com. Keep up with them as well for their summer programs. And thank you both for joining us. Thank you, Charles. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
All right, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure as well.
Thanks, Bobbi.
Thank you.
You guys take care. All right, we're going to play some music for everyone. Here it is. We love to play music for our guests and also for our listeners, of course. This is called Stepping Stones. It's by Kimia Penton from her latest album, Where the Rain Falls. So enjoy. Here it is, Stepping Stones.
My first steps were a celebration, Mom and Dad watching me grow. With every orbit of the sun, there's much more I got to know. As the seasons changed and I was fully grown, I was molded and made by the love they sowed. Mom and Dad's story didn't always make sense. They came from a different time with different pains. But the courage that I stand on is the example that they gave. My first stepping stone was the life they led. 2 degrees later, moved out to the city on my own, working at the corner office on the 21st floor, thinking how far I come and where I could go, taking for a different time, a better place. If I was building bridges, if I built a fence, Mom and Dad's wisdom was my one defense. If the noise in the world drown out the voice in my head, I find my way home to hear the words they say. Those familiar words, the laughter and tears wash away my fears. Mom and Dad's stories didn't always make sense. They came from a different time with different pains. But the freedom that I walk in is from the price they paid. My every stepping stone is on the road